All images in this video are used under fair use of United States copyright law of 1976 and are used in conjunction with my commentary. Corey Hardick got to handle his business and get custody of his kids. This woman is completely out of control. Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today. Actress Tia Mowry is scavenging the internet for attention, one Mo Gim. And in her latest stunt to try to get attention for herself on the internet, she decided to post a thirst trap video on Instagram where she was wearing a leopard print bodysuit and thigh-high boots. And in that video, she not only wanted to get attention for herself, she also wanted to feature her son, Cree, in the video. And in that video, she was looking to get the reaction of her son on seeing her wearing this leopard print bodysuit and thigh-high boots, and her son, Cree, was embarrassed to see his mother dressed so provocatively. And on seeing her son embarrassed, Tia Mowry didn't really care about the reaction of shame that her son had. No, she wanted to continue press by saying that Beyonce and Rihanna dressed this way, and the whole thing is her son was just extremely embarrassed by the whole situation, and she had basically no regard for the shame that her son had for her. Now, Tia Mowry has gone out of her way to try to get this kind of attention even before she announced her divorce to Corey Hardick, her husband of 14 years. And Tia Mowry was out here, even before she divorced Corey Hardick, out here looking to dress provocatively in lingerie and posing for photos in lingerie and posing for photos in bubble baths. And since that was between her and Corey Hardick, he was the only one to go out here and check her on that behavior. However, with Tia Mowry looking to go out here and participate in these type of thirst trap stunts and involve her son, this is where I believe Tia Mowry has basically crossed the line. And I believe that Tia Mowry crossed the line because Tia Mowry, when she involves her children inside of one of these thirst trap videos, basically is, in my opinion, abusing those children. Now, I believe that this is child abuse because if a woman wants to go out here and dress provocatively and pose in pictures by herself, or go out here and make videos of herself by herself, that's one thing. That's an image that she's making of herself by herself. However, if she decides to involve her children inside of such a video, that's where I believe a line has to be set, because you do not bring your children into these thirst trap videos, because if you bring a child into that to me is going out here and is tantamount to child abuse. And to me, this is the point where Corey Hardick needs to step in, and this is the point where he has to step in and demand custody of his children. And the reason why I believe Corey Hardick needs to demand custody of his children is because the environment that Tia Mowry is creating for those children is a toxic one. Because when a mother decides that getting attention for herself online is more important than the intangibles of the family as related to their optics and their image, that's where that mother is basically just crossing the line from being a parent to just going too far. And bringing Cree into this video, that's where I believe it crosses the line, because even on platforms like YouTube, this would be considered a violation of their community guidelines to bring a minor into a video like this. And I believe IG would possibly have the same policy, and that's where I believe Tia Mowry basically crosses the line. Now, if Tia Mowry wants to go out here and have her so-called turn, she can have that turn by herself. And if she wants to have that turn by herself. What she needs to do is leave the kids out of it and leave the kids out of her attempts to go out here and thirst trap guys, because the children have nothing to do with her relationships with other men. And that's where I believe Corey Hardrick has to step in and demand custody of his children, because the behavior that their mother is participating in is putting those children in harm's way. Because I believe that it is extremely abusive to those children for a mother to go out here and ask her son, what does he think of what she looks like when she's trying to sexualize herself? That, to me, is crossing the line as I see it. I mean, you don't ask your son what you think of an outfit of you wearing a bodysuit and thigh-high boots. No, a mother does not ask her son what he thinks as related to such outfit, because that kind of question, as I see it, is extremely inappropriate to ask a preteen boy what he thinks of his mother when she's dressed provocatively. That, in my eyes, is just going too far, and that is not about her talking about having her turn. No, that is her looking to twist Corey Hardrick's son and put him on the road to becoming a man in crisis, because this type of behavior is the kind of behavior that puts a boy on the road to becoming a man in crisis, because this is his mother looking to, again, act in a provocative manner in front of her son, not understanding that there is supposed to be a boundary between a mother and her son, because a mother is only supposed to be out here if she wants to be intimate and sexual. That is supposed to be an image that she's supposed to have between herself and her husband. It is not something that is supposed to be taken out of that context in the family relationship. And when she goes out here and starts asking her son these kinds of questions, that's when the people at Child Protective Services need to come in, and that's where Corey needs to come in and start making demands for custody of his children, because this kind of behavior, this crosses the line as I see it, and it just is not something that I find to be appropriate for a mother to be asking her son and to be dressing in front of her son like this. No, this is just extremely inappropriate, and it's something that a husband has to come in and check. Even if he is divorced from that woman, he has to come in and go out here and check that woman, because that woman is just acting completely out of line at that point. When you have a woman out here and she's just out here going from making thirst trap videos of herself when you're married in lingerie and in bubble baths for people on social media, that really shows that this woman has serious issues. And now that she's out here making the same types of content and involving a minor in them, this is showing an escalation of her dysfunctional behavior. And this escalation of dysfunctional behavior just shows a woman, to me, that is just completely out of control as related to an addiction to social media. And I talk about this in my book, The Woman Crisis, in the chapter Social Media and the Woman Crisis. And it looks like to me that Tia Mowry is a woman in crisis who has an addiction to social media. And with her desperate to continue receiving attention from people on social media, it looks like to me that she's getting ready to escalate her behavior. And now that she's escalating her behavior to involving her children, she clearly is showing me how she's just caught up in this virtual world of cyberspace, and she's caught up in getting attention in the world of cyberspace, building a world around herself in the world of cyberspace, where she only is out here desperately looking for more and more likes on social media and escalating her behavior to participate in more and more outrageous attention. First, it was just the provocative photos on Instagram. Then it was the announcement of the divorce of her husband, Corey Hardrick, on social media. Then it was the statement saying that, oh, she's graduated from marriage on television, desperately trying to continue to get attention with these provocative and controversial stunts. And then after this, she posts on Twitter, "I will find love again." But the whole problem with Tia Mowry is I see a woman, even though she says that she is loving herself, I see a woman who clearly does not love herself, because a woman who loved herself, like I stated in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, would not be posting all of this provocative media on social media. No, she would be putting up an image that would be reflective of her husband, who has been pretty silent all as Tia Mowry has been acting out on social media, and she would be out here looking to present an image that was just as respectable as his is, because she would want to reflect on him. Unfortunately, it looks like to me that Tia Mowry has some sort of serious self-esteem issues and serious self-worth issues, and she's trying to overcompensate by saying that she is loving herself. But when I look at her actions, these are not the actions of a woman who loves herself, because a woman who loves herself is not going to be posting up provocative photos on social media for a bunch of thirsty simps to see. No, she's going to be showing her body to the one man that she married, and she's going to be staying with that one man she married, and she's not going to be out here talking about how she graduated from marriage to look for love, and then looking to get attention by using a thirst trap photo, and then looking to use her own son as bait to get more attention for herself. No, these are the behaviors of someone who is addicted to social media. And with someone who is extremely addicted to social media, what happens to people who are addicted to social media? What happens to these individuals is that they just are extremely messed up in the head, and they're messed up in the head because they've created a world in social media, because they don't know how to have a relationship with real people in the real world. And that's because they have issues with people in the real world. And that's what Tia Mowry currently has right now. Tia Mowry currently is one of these women who is addicted to social media, looks to get attention from social media, and now she's overstepping boundaries as she's looking to further get more attention for herself, because this thirst trap stunt with her son shows how she has basically crossed the line. And because a woman who goes out here and she wants to make these photos, again, that is on her, but if she goes out and involves her children, that's when a father has to step in. That's when a father has to get custody of his children. That's when a father has to draw the line. Now, I know it will be hard in the gynocentric American court system for Corey Hardick. They will say, oh, there's nothing wrong with this. And you've got a lot of females out here who want to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with this. But I find something to be disturbingly wrong when a woman goes out here and asks her son what he thinks when she's out here dressed provocatively, because any son would be just as embarrassed as Cree Hardick was. I mean, I would be embarrassed if I saw my mother like that, and I understand his embarrassment and shame seeing his mother out here like this. I mean, when you think of your mom, you want to think of somebody who has a respectable image, somebody who's out here looking to present an image that reflects on the family, because as the first teacher, she is supposed to be the first example of womanhood. But when I look at Tia Mowry's example of womanhood, she shows me how she's a woman in crisis, because a 44-year-old mother of two should not be looking to emulate losers like Rihanna and Beyonce, as I see it, because those women basically are putting on a show as entertainers. No, you shouldn't be out here looking to try to be like these types of women, because this is not an example that you want to have for your son. No, that's not an image even most men want to see as related to their wife, because their wife reflects on them. No, Beyonce and Rihanna They are Madison Avenue and Hollywood images. They are a show that's not something a mother wants to be like. No, a mother wants to go out here at 44 years old, presenting a respectable image of herself, and she wants to present a respectable image of herself so that when her son looks at her, he sees somebody he can look up to and somebody who he can see as respectful. That is what a son wants to see, and that's what a husband, Corey Hardrick, wanted to see with his wife. And again, I bet he's just shaking his head because this type of behavior is embarrassing to look at. And again, it's embarrassing to see a woman do this in front of her son, because this, as I see it, again, this is crossing the line. This is going too far. And you'll have these feminist types saying, oh, it's so empowering and liberating. No, it's not empowering or liberating for a boy to see his mama like that. I mean, if a boy sees his mama like that, he is deeply embarrassed. And I'm deeply embarrassed for Cree myself, because, again, it's just sad for him to see his mama like that and to see his mama making a fool of herself, all to get likes on IG, all to get likes on TikTok. I mean, it's sad to see that Tia Mowry doesn't have the self-esteem or the dignity to understand her own self-worth, even though she preaches about self-love and supposedly having her turn. She can't see how she's turning out on social media and how she's getting turned out and being made into a complete clown that basically embarrasses her son and basically embarrasses her daughter. And what's really sad is she can't see that the behavior she's modeling in front of her daughter is just embarrassing, because the way she's acting in front of her daughter, this just goes too far. And it goes too far because it just, again, it just goes out there, and it just isn't something that is respectable for a young man and a young lady to see. I mean, if you want, the whole thing is, you've got a preteen son. He shouldn't be seeing his mama like that. You've got a little daughter who should not be seeing her mama like that. And again, that's why I say, Corey, you gotta come in here. You gotta check your ex-wife. I mean, you gotta check her and set that boundary that the kids are off limits and the kids ain't got nothing to do. You want to act a fool on social media, that's you. But don't you bring those kids into this mess. And again, this behavior just shows me, again, a textbook example of what I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis, because when I take that full critical examination of Tia Mowry, she's definitely a woman in crisis who needs to go read my book, The Woman Crisis. Now, if you want to learn what leads to women becoming dysfunctional like Tia Mowry currently is, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Woman Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashware's The iBook Store and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker at online booksellers today. Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at Lulu.com today.